Hello my dear friends and welcome back to another Star Wars news update. In today's video we're going to be talking about The Mandalorian Season 3, The Bad Batch and more. As always my dear Megalorians, before we dive into it, please may I ask you to hit that big red subscribe button if you've not done so, and also be sure to give that bell a good old tickle to be alerted each and every time that I post new videos. So without much further ado and without any more jibber jabber, let's dive straight into it. So according to a new report, it seems as though The Mandalorian Season 3 is being pushed back to late 2022, instead of being released near the start of next year. The report indicates that filming is only going to start in September. Originally, The Mandalorian Season 3 was going to begin production right after the Book of Boba Fett in April of this year. Since both shows film at the same location using stagecraft technology, the thought behind it was that they would film the two shows subsequently, one after the other. A month ago, Fansided reported that filming would be moved to August of 2021, and this was after some scheduling issues, especially with reshoots for the Book of Boba. The latest update is that the show is only going to begin production in September. This piece of news is also backed by a crew member on the Book of Boba who wrote as a caption on Instagram that Mando isn't filming right now, apparently starts in September. If this is all true, then Mando probably won't release before Obi-Wan Kenobi and Andor, which are both set to be released in 2022. So in terms of show from now until the end of 2022, we have the Book of Boba in December of this year, Star Wars Visions before that, and next year we have Andor, Obi-Wan Kenobi and The Mandalorian Season 3. But Mando is probably going to be pushed back to Christmas of 2022 instead of the start of the year. It honestly makes sense that filming for the show is going to be pushed back. We were all surprised when Pedro Pascal travelled to be with his family last month when we still believed that Mando had already begun filming. Not only is his schedule absolutely packed until September, but the Book of Boba also took longer than expected for primary photography. And honestly guys, out of all of the upcoming shows, we've heard the least about The Mandalorian, and that's been a little bit sad to be honest, especially after the massive high that the show finished on at the end of Season 2. But as you guys have seen, I've been updating you on all things to do with the Book of Boba Fett, Obi-Wan Kenobi and the other shows as well. As always guys, I'll keep you updated on all things Star Wars. So now my dear Megalorians, we're going to talk about the Bad Batch, specifically the Rancor we saw in episode 5. Her name is Moochie, and the big debate is she the same Rancor we see in Return of the Jedi? While Lucasfilm have not made an official statement on whether Moochie is just a retconned version of Patissa, Pablo Hidalgo stated on Twitter he's not sure if it's the same Rancor. But this article by Den of Geek makes a good argument, so let's check it out. In episode 5 Rampage, a plan is hatched to get more info on the mysterious bounty hunter Fennec Shand, as well as the person who hired her to kidnap Omega. But informant Sid won't give them information they need until they do something for her: rescue an asset named Moochie. Clone Force 99 spent most of the episode trying to rescue a young boy from slavers, only to discover that he isn't Moochie at all. The real Moochie is an adolescent Rancor who belongs to Jabba the Hutt. In an action-packed third act battle sequence, Omega frees Moochie from her cage, and the already massive teen Rancor absolutely wrecks the Zygerian thugs. If the episode set off Return of the Jedi alarms in your head, it's for a good reason. Moochie and her backstory will likely remind viewers of the original trilogy's own Rancor, who went head-to-head with Luke Skywalker. You might have even made the mistake of thinking that Moochie was the exact Rancor we saw in episode 6. But it's likely that Moochie is a completely different Rancor. The Rancor in Return of the Jedi is named Patissa, who is actually male. But since the movie takes place in 4 ABY, does this mean that Moochie, who we're meeting about 23 years before episode 6, will eventually grow up to be Patissa's mum? No. According to the Ultimate Star Wars reference book, Bib Fortuna gave Patissa to Jabba as a birthday present, and that was more than a decade before the events of the Bad Batch. That means that Patissa is either older than Moochie at this point, or at least the same age as the female Rancor. So if Moochie isn't the Rancor in Jabba's palace in episode 6, where did Bib and his Gamorrean guards take her at the end of the episode? We don't know at the moment, but it stands to reason that Jabba probably enjoys keeping several of these pets around. With Moochie the Rancor, Bib Fortuna, Gamorreans, and a brief mention of Jabba the Hutt, Rampage was truly a nostalgic episode for all fans of the original trilogy. So there you go guys, it's very unlikely that Moochie is the same Rancor that we saw in episode 6, but until Lucasfilm say anything official, we can't really know for certain. So finally guys, we're going to ask the question, will we see Darth Maul in the Bad Batch? Some people think that episode 5 Rampage set his appearance up perfectly. I stated in my full episode breakdown, and do check that out if you haven't seen it, that Boba Fett is very likely to appear very soon. Other fans took the ending of the episode to mean a setup for Darth Maul's return, so let's see that point of view. This article is called Star Wars Sets Up Maul's Next Return. Lucasfilm may be setting up the next appearance of Darth Maul in future episodes of The Bad Batch. The former Sith apprentice of Darth Sidious gone rogue is a massive fan favourite, and his final arc in the Clone Wars animated series provides the perfect opportunity to make him return. Thanks to some new hints in the Bad Batch's latest episode Rampage, it's quite possible that Clone Force 99 may soon come face to face with Crimson Dawn, the criminal syndicate that Maul created to lay siege to Mandalore and gain power in the galaxy. As we saw in the episode, the Bad Batch is on the run from Fennec Shand, who was hired to bring in the squad's newest recruit, Omega. As a result, they head to the planet of Ord Mantell to meet with a contact named Sid. When all is said and done, they get the information they needed, as well as some pay, and while they didn't find out who Fennec Shand was hired by, the implication is that they'll be working as mercenaries going forward, providing them a means of survival in this new era of the fall of the Republic and the rise of the Empire. However, Ord Mantell is a world most notable for being a base of operations for the Black Sun crime organisation, which is also part of Maul's Shadow Collective formed in the midst of the Clone Wars. It would later be known as Crimson Dawn, which also featured in Solo: A Star Wars Story, and is definitely active during the same time as the Bad Batch. As we saw in the Clone Wars, Maul did escape Ahsoka Tano's custody, and he also had instructed the leaders of the syndicates to go into hiding at the end of the war. Now that the Bad Batch are becoming mercenaries, it's definitely possible that they could find themselves meeting Darth Maul very soon. In a sense, the Bad Batch is the perfect opportunity for Maul and Crimson Dawn to get more of a spotlight. Apart from its creation in Clone Wars and appearance in Solo, not much is known about its true influence, as well as its eventual decline. By the time that Maul is seen in Star Wars Rebels, Crimson Dawn is at the very least no longer run by Maul himself. Considering Maul's absolute hatred of Palpatine, this would also be an intense time to see what he's been up to with the rise of the Empire. All things considered, it would certainly be interesting to not only see a new Maul appearance, but also having the Bad Batch tackling a crime story which would certainly have the potential to be both dynamic and intriguing. But what do you guys think? Do you think we might see Darth Maul in the upcoming episodes of the Bad Batch? Let me know this and all of your thoughts of today's news update in the comments down below. If you guys enjoyed this one, please be sure to give me a big fat thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you're new, also be sure to hit the bell down below, and if you're feeling generous, please consider contributing to the channel by becoming a patron. The link is in the description down below, and I will see you all next time. I'm Star Wars Meg, wishing you all a phenomenal rest of the day, no matter where you dwell in the galaxy. Have a good one.